She's back. Caitlin Clark is going to tee it up again at the Annika, driven by Gainbridge at Pelican Pro-Am this November.
Caitlin Clark has been a headline magnet since the day she picked up a basketball. But in 3 weeks, she's doing it again. Only this time, it's not inside an arena. Instead of torching defenders on the court, Clark is trading hardwood for fairways, where she will be returning to the LPGA Pro-Am event, the Annika, hosted by the legendary Annika Sorenstam at Florida's Pelican Golf Club in November. But this isn't just another celebrity cameo. This is a cultural moment. Remember last year when she was paired with world #1 golfer Nelly Korda? Clark isn't just swinging a club, she's swinging open new doors for women's sports, proving that her influence transcends basketball. And what's fascinating isn't just that Caitlin's there, it's how the LPGA is handling it. They didn't just invite her, they built a stage around her. From press coverage to the fan engagement, the LPGA is rolling out a literal red carpet once again. The contrast is glaring. One league sees her as a partner, the other sees her as a problem. Somehow, last year's single golf event generated more excitement, more press coverage, and more fan joy than most of Clark's WNBA season. In this video, we're diving into how golf icons are reacting to Clark and how the WNBA is panicking. Does the WNBA deserve Clark? Let us know down in the comments below.
It's quite amazing for a Wednesday. I mean, there's so many media here from all different sort of media aspects, local news, lots of reporters around that you normally wouldn't see on a Wednesday out here at an LPGA event. All the spectators are all waiting to get their final glimpse of Caitlin, hopefully a final autograph.
When Clark arrived at Pelican Golf Club, it was clear the LPGA knew what they had. A walking, talking ratings magnet. They didn't tuck her quietly into a random corner. They paired her with the best golfer in the world, Nelly Korda. That wasn't coincidence, it was genius marketing. By linking the LPGA's biggest star with basketball's biggest star, they created an event that transcended both sports. The buzz was immediate. Even before Clark teed off, you could feel the anticipation ripple through social media. This wasn't a novelty act, it was an alliance of excellence.
How's it going? You've been seeing Nelly Korda do that over and over again for 6 holes now.
It's just satisfying. The way she hits the ball is just satisfying. It's pretty awesome.
The LPGA milked every second of it, and rightfully so. The Golf Channel altered its regular programming just to cover parts of Clark's round live, something unheard of for a Pro-Am.
Even just seeing the national media members that have arrived here, the basketball media that's here to cover Caitlin Clark, and what's sure to be a really special day in the women's game tomorrow.
Clips of her drives and putts flooded Twitter, TikTok, and ESPN highlights within minutes. It felt like golf had suddenly become appointment viewing again. Tournament host Annika Sorenstam nailed it when she said, "What Caitlin brings isn't just talent, it's the ability to attract and inspire." That line spread everywhere because it's true. Clark isn't just another athlete, she's a walking bridge between fan bases, introducing millions of new eyes to whatever sport she touches. And the one coming up in November promises to be even bigger, televised worldwide with more opportunities for fans to access the event live or in person.
But you're right, I mean, it just puts our tournament in a different limelight and just different excitement. You know, they're streaming the summit today, they'll be streaming the Pro-Am, I mean, things that we haven't seen before. You know, wherever she goes, she's been selling out, so hopefully we'll sell out here too, so we're excited about that.
And here's the key difference. Clark didn't walk in pretending to be something she's not. She's been playing golf since she was a kid, so this wasn't a publicity stunt. It was a return to something she genuinely enjoys. "I'm not a professional golfer, but I love being out here," she said, smiling after a solid tee shot. "It's all about the challenge and the mental focus." That authenticity hit people hard. It wasn't about perfection, it was about passion. In an era of media-trained athletes reciting corporate scripts, Clark just showed up and had fun, and everyone felt it. Tickets to the Pelican sold out, crowds lined the ropes early, and even golfers were taking selfies with her. The LPGA proved something the WNBA has been too stubborn to admit. When you embrace Caitlin Clark, everyone wins.
Hey, for some golf.
Perfect out here.
I never golf this early in the morning. I grew up in Des Moines and I played there a ton. And honestly, I try to get back there as much as I can to play with my family. My dad plays a lot, my older brother plays a lot. So, it's super fun.
Now, let's talk about that difference because it's the story within the story. The LPGA didn't hesitate. They saw an opportunity and capitalized on it, turning Clark's crossover appeal into a celebration of women's sports unity. Meanwhile, the WNBA, her own league, continues to act allergic to her success. The contrast couldn't be sharper.
Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it, but you didn't do it.
Clark's first 2 seasons were historic. She broke 62 statistical records and single-handedly revitalized a franchise that had been irrelevant for years during her rookie year. She even finished top 5 in MVP voting as a rookie. Her sophomore season, although only 13 games due to an injury, was also set up to be a historic one during the games she was on the court. That's once-in-a-generation stuff. So, naturally, you'd think the WNBA would throw her a parade. Instead, they keep throwing her paper certificates. Remember her Rookie of the Year award presentation? It took place in an empty gym, with no crowd, no cameras, and no excitement. It looked more like a forgotten high school assembly than a moment in sports history. A stark contrast to Paige Bucher's award presentation in 2025, which was done on live TV. And that's where the LPGA completely outclassed them. They didn't just include Clark, they showcased her. They built storylines around her pairing with Korda, featured her in the Women's Leadership Forum alongside Annika Sorenstam, and treated her like the icon she is. Every detail screamed respect and collaboration. The LPGA understood what so many others seem to miss. Caitlin Clark isn't competition. She's a catalyst. She brings fans, sponsors, and energy wherever she goes. She makes everything around her bigger. The WNBA, for all its talk about growth and visibility, still can't seem to wrap its head around that.
Please, Caitlin. Caitlin, could you please sign on? 24 years, John Deere boys. Caitlin, please. Oh my God.
Caitlin, nice to meet you. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Caitlin! Hung in there,
Let's go.
While the WNBA clings to old rivalries and insecure narratives, the LPGA is busy making history, using Clark's magnetic presence to elevate everyone. And it's working. Golf's fan engagement spiked, coverage expanded, and new audiences, many of them young basketball fans, started tuning into a sport they'd never watched before. Caitlin Clark didn't have to pick sides, she just had to show up. But by doing so, she unintentionally exposed how 2 leagues treat their stars. One lifts her up, the other tears her down.
Well, first of all, we're thankful that she's here. I think she's been kind of the one on, when you talk about women's sports, she's kind of, other than Nelly, it's been Caitlin. And what she has done is amazing. And like you said, bringing other people into the sport. And golf has been, I think, quite a passion for her for quite some time.
Fans didn't mince words about the difference in how Caitlin Clark was treated. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. The way every league embraces her, except the WNBA, is diabolical. That one sentence spoke for thousands. Everywhere you looked, people were saying the same thing. The LPGA rolled out the red carpet while the WNBA tripped over its own shoelaces. The contrast was impossible to ignore, and the frustration was loud.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Sports fans and media observers called it what it was, a missed opportunity. The LPGA had pulled off what the WNBA refused to try, showcasing Clark's star power instead of suppressing it. Their strategy wasn't complicated, it was common sense. Take your biggest crossover name, celebrate her, and build the event around her. Meanwhile, the WNBA was still trying to balance narratives, as Commissioner Kathy Engelbert likes to say, spotlighting league-wide growth instead of recognizing the phenomenon that was right in front of her. Engelbert's corporate language has become infamous at this point. Always vague, always big picture. Instead of acknowledging Clark's once-in-a-generation impact, she insisted on reminding everyone that every team and player contributed to our growth this year. On paper, that sounds diplomatic. In reality, it's tone-deaf. Fans didn't fall in love with a spreadsheet. They fell in love with a player who electrified the sport. The Caitlin Clark effect was the spark that turned casual viewers into die-hard followers. The LPGA saw that. The WNBA still hasn't.
And everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
By fully embracing Clark, the LPGA demonstrated a masterclass in how to celebrate star athletes without diminishing the rest of the field. They understood that Clark's appeal doesn't stop at basketball. It transcends sports entirely. Her presence made the event bigger, brighter, and more inclusive. By giving her a stage, they not only boosted golf's visibility, but showed what happens when a league understands how to harness momentum instead of smothering it. That's the difference between growth and leadership. Growth is numbers. Leadership is knowing what to do with them. The LPGA didn't just acknowledge Clark's success, they created moments. They turned her participation into an experience that fans wanted to be part of. That's how you build lasting engagement. And Clark gave them everything they could have hoped for. When she stepped onto the course at the Annika, it wasn't just another day in sports. It felt like a celebration. The atmosphere was electric, and the respect from the world's top golfers was immediate.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's been a lot of pressure. I mean, a lot of people looking at her, and, you know, when you set the bar high and continue to move that bar, I mean, people are always going to try and push you down and take you down in different ways and getting criticized, but she's just handled it so well, you know, with such poise and such class, and just keep moving, setting records and doing things that have not been done before. And I mean, that's just, to me, is obviously very inspiring, but it motivates a lot of women to be able to even reach their full potential. And, you know, she's so young too, and who knows what her future will be, but she's just starting out with a bang, and I'm sure she's going to continue. So we're excited to have her here. And
tournament host Annika Sorenstam, the woman whose name defines the event, couldn't stop praising her. "We're thankful she's here," Sorenstam said. "She's been the one, other than Nelly, to bring so much attention to women's sports." Coming from one of the greatest athletes in history, that's not a small compliment. She admired Clark's composure under pressure, calling it inspiring to see someone handle the spotlight with such grace while continuing to push boundaries. Nelly Korda, the world's top-ranked golfer and Clark's playing partner for the front nine, echoed those feelings. "It's refreshing to have someone from another sport who brings that same fire," Korda said. "Her energy and drive are contagious." You could tell this wasn't just polite talk. It was genuine admiration from one elite competitor to another.
Non-serious question, how is your jump shot?
It probably needs work. It's probably not that good.
Not that good?
Yeah, maybe I'll ask Caitlin for some advice, some tips. Next time we'll get together, maybe it'll be on a basketball court. Yeah.
What's your hope of maybe a long-term relationship with Caitlin Clark and the LPGA? What do you hope comes from today?
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's just great for the women's sports. I love that she has a love for the game of golf, and me, like, I've never really tuned into watching basketball before her, honestly. So I think it's just growing the interest in all of women's sports, and I hope that's what grows from this relationship.
Even LPGA veterans got caught up in the excitement. Brittany Lincecum said, "What she's done for women's basketball is phenomenal, and seeing her here supporting us is incredible." She even brought a basketball for Clark to sign for her daughters. That's how much of an icon she's become, even among fellow athletes. Andrea Lee and Megan Kong joked in an interview that they hoped to accidentally cross paths with her for selfies between rounds. Marina Alex and Lilia Vu gushed about how Clark's presence would bring more fans and media to the tour. And then there were the young guns, Alex Pano and Rose Zhang, who grew up watching Clark redefine what female athletes could represent. Zhang put it beautifully. "Her composure is unreal. The way she handles pressure is something I deeply respect.
afterwards, I ran into Andrea Lee on the putting green, and she said, my tee time is at 7:10 a.m., so I'm hoping that that overlaps well enough that I'll be able to get a picture. And then on the other side of that, Megan Kang said, oh man, my tee time is in the afternoon. There's no shot that I'm going to be able to catch her in time for a photo. And Marina Alex was especially excited because her locker is next to Caitlin's in the locker room. Said she walked in and saw there she was. She's got a placard just like all the LPGA players right next to her. So perhaps Marina can pick her brain as they're getting ready to head out to the golf course. And of course, you had to chat with Lilia Vu, who's the defending champion. The first thing she said to me was, oh my goodness, so excited that Caitlin's here. She's going to bring so many eyeballs to this week and to our game in general.
This outpouring of support wasn't just a feel-good story. It was proof of concept. When you give athletes like Clark a proper platform, they elevate everyone around them. They create crossover appeal, uniting different audiences under one message. Women's sports are worth watching. The LPGA got that instantly. They didn't see Clark as a competitor for attention. They saw her as a collaborator for progress. That's what makes the LPGA's approach so brilliant. They didn't treat Clark as a guest star. They treated her as part of their community, as someone helping to lift all boats. Her participation wasn't just about golf. It was about showing how sports can intersect to grow together. That sense of unity was on full display during the Women's Leadership Summit, where Clark spoke candidly about why she does what she does. The reason I play isn't just for the points or the wins. It's for the moments when a young girl smiles, shouts, or even cries when I wave, she said. It was simple, but it hit home. You could hear the sincerity in her voice. This isn't someone chasing endorsements or headlines. This is someone who understands the responsibility that comes with her platform.
That's the reason that you play. It's not because of the wins and the points you score. It's the amount of joy that you can bring people and the young girls that will one day grow up to hopefully, be whatever they want to be and get to talk about those moments too.
Clark talked about her lifelong love of golf, how her dad used to take her out on weekends, how she begged for a pink set of clubs as a kid, how competition always fueled her. It's a different challenge, she said. Mental, technical, patient, but that's what makes it fun. That balance between focus and joy is what defines her, and why she connects with fans so deeply. At the summit, she emphasized the power of sports to unite people. Sports bring joy, she said. They connect people in ways nothing else can. That's not a rehearsed speech. That's a worldview. For Clark, basketball and golf aren't separate identities. They're two paths to the same goal: inspiring others.
I haven't played with anybody on any other team, but some of my teammates golf. Actually, one of my teammates was a state champion golfer, so she's pretty good. I actually haven't played with her yet, so I think she might be scared or something. I don't know why. Her game must have gotten rusty when she became a professional basketball player, but no, some of them do play, but we like to go out there and have fun. Obviously, it's hard during the WNBA season because it's in the summer. So that's the one tough thing about the W is it's in the summer, so I don't get to go out and play as much as I did in college. But it's been fun. Obviously, we're really competitive with whatever we do, so there's some intense battles out there.
Annika Sorenstam perfectly captured the room's mood afterward. Caitlin's commitment to women's sports isn't just admirable, it's necessary, she said. She builds bridges. That's what true leadership looks like. And Nelly Korda doubled down on that sentiment. She's showing that women can break every barrier if they just step into new spaces. You could feel how proud these athletes were, not just of Clark's achievements, but of what she represented for all of them. Even away from the cameras, Clark's focus never wavered. She wasn't just there to hit a few drives and pose for pictures. She was there to engage, to learn, and to inspire. Her conversations with young fans, her laughter with players, even her quiet moments studying a putt. Everything about her presence screamed authenticity.
I think the thing about leadership is like how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. And I think the thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships that I've been able to build with people. And every single person you have to approach differently because they come from a different background, they come from a different place. Somebody can be a little more tenderhearted, and for me, I probably want to be screamed at. Like, it's just everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership and being able to understand people, but that takes time, and building relationships is really important.
It's this authenticity that makes her impossible to replace. Her drive isn't fueled by ego, it's fueled by purpose. The young girls who come to our games, they're the reason I do this, she said. They're my biggest motivation. That mindset is why Caitlin Clark transcends sports. She's not just a competitor, she's a connector. Her appearance at the Annika wasn't just another headline, it was a turning point. The LPGA's embrace of Clark showed the world how collaboration and celebration can amplify women's sports far beyond what any one league can do alone. And that brings us full circle to the WNBA, the league that keeps missing the lesson. While the LPGA elevated Clark and expanded its audience, the WNBA downplayed her historic rookie season and wasted the best marketing opportunity in its history. That's not strategy, that's self-sabotage.
Everybody talks about like the effect that we have on them, but also they have the same effect on us. And I think that's what's really cool about it is to see how much joy it really brings them, and it brings their families. And that one game where they spend 2 hours of their whole entire year has such an impact on their entire childhood. And I think that's really cool to think about. And
the LPGA understood something fundamental. People don't fall in love with organizations. They fall in love with individuals. Caitlin Clark is that individual. She's the rare athlete whose greatness lifts everyone else. By showcasing her, the LPGA didn't just grow their brand, they grew the game. Clark returning to the LPGA isn't just a golf story, it's a masterclass in leadership, humility, and influence. She doesn't just inspire fans, she reminds every league watching what real vision looks like. Because while the WNBA debates how to manage her spotlight, the LPGA is busy shining it even brighter. Does the WNBA deserve Clark? Let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.